Greetings, everyone. How y'all doing today? Happy Tuesday. Today is the day that Mars rules, and Mars is currently in Cancer. Mars has been in Cancer, y'all, for I swear I feel like it's been like 6 months, maybe four, because it was retrograde. I'm trying to get this thing set so it won't fall down. I am the Moon Mama, also known as Monique. That's my birth name, my given name, and this is our Master Nodal class. The nodes are so important in astrology. They are the key to um, the evolutionary experience. They are the key to growth, to moving forward, um, to not getting stuck in cycles that keep you in patterns that have you feeling like you're not making any progress. The nodes are where we actually access progress. And the nodes are the energy that governs your karma, what you were born into, your life patterns from many lifetimes ago until now, which is the south node. And then the north node is your dharma, how you can alchemize those karmic patterns into new ways of being and launch yourself into a new reality, into a new way of being, into a new experience, into a new you, into a new you. So today is a Mars day. The color of Mars is red. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio and the current ruler of Aries. And the sun is in Aries right now. And Mercury and Venus are currently retrograding through Aries and Pisces. So there's a lot of Aryan energy up for creation. Aries is the energy of beginnings. It's the energy of the baby. It's the pioneer. Um, it's an energy of what they call the warrior, right? But a warrior is necessary when you're doing things that have never been done before because you have to break ranks with the way the energies are already running. So to be a warrior means to have enough strength, enough power to remove the energy from the old way of being and into a new way of being. That's what it means to be a warrior. That is it. And in that is destruction. In that is death. In the cosmology, I like to think of it as the dance between Shiva and Shakti. In the Indian traditions, the masculine is the destruction, and the masculine is the physical world. Everything you see with your physical eyes that you can perceive is activated into the masculine. It has come from the invisible world and into the seen. So now it is masculine, but it was first an idea, a feeling, a sense in the feminine world. And so in that it's masculine and feminine. So we are in a constant dance between the masculine parts of ourselves and the feminine parts of ourselves. Because we are in the 3D reality, it appears that everything here is seen, that this is all that there is, what you can see. But there is a tremendous spiritual realm behind the scenes that you have to cultivate, that you have to connect to in order to have dominion over the physical world. If you are not connected from the spiritual realm with your prayer, your meditation, your rituals, your practices, whatever it is for you, you will be folly in the physical realm. You will be unhinged in the physical realm. You will be at the effect of everyone else's stuff if you don't have your own personal relationship with the spiritual realm. So, today is a Mars day. Mars is in Cancer. Mars is the Mars has been in Cancer. I was just saying Mars has been in Cancer for months, you guys, because Mars was retrograde in Cancer. So Mars is finally going direct. Then it was stationed sitting still forever. Like we have not had any movement. So there's a lot of stuckness, a lot of frustration, a lot of tension in the space. And what tends to happen when that occurs is that, can you hold the tension, or are you going to just be reactive? So with Mars and Cancer, there's a lot of feelings, a lot of emotion. Now we need feeling and emotion to move ourselves forward. So, but the question is, the sun is in Aries, and so we can be very reactive. We can be very immediate. It's like, because Aries is like fire and it's a baby, and so the sooner you, then you're like doing something about it. But the opportunity right now is to hold. Don't take any actions now. Be frustrated, be full of angst, because what's happening is the 3D reality is actually reforming itself right now. For those who can hold the energy and not be reactive to the things that are happening in the world, and be in that internal, deep, feminine, spiritual knowing. Do your ritual practices, do your spiritual practices. Stay in solitude as much as you can. Do not allow other people's ideas to penetrate your focus. Stay where you are going, because we still have retrogrades. We still have Venus in retrograde and Mercury in retrograde, retrograding through Aries and Pisces. This will not end until the retro Mercury will turn direct on April 7th, and Venus will turn direct on April 12th. And then there are still 3 weeks where where you will be configuring your perspective for your mind, because Mercury takes 3 weeks to be complete with the shadow, and Venus probably takes, like 12 weeks to be complete with her shadow. So we are not taking action yet. We really have until the middle or the end of May before we will have a solid, clear, this is the way to go. And now is the time to be positioning yourself, to be getting clear about what you really want to be focused on, what really has value to you, where you're going to give your energy to. And this is about yourself, because the sun is in Aries. This is not about what you're going to do for others or about other people, or this is about, what do you want for yourself? Who do you imagine yourself to be? What are you up to, right? So we tend to, our creative process in this Western world is backwards. We tend to think from the external inside, and that's not how it works. Like I said, we don't want to think about the external right now. The external is being deconstructed right now. So you don't want to think about that. You want to think about how it is you want to feel. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel healthy and aligned. I want to feel happy. I feel, and you want to claim it. I feel good. I feel aligned. I feel connected. I feel resourced. I feel beautiful. I feel on purpose. I feel happy. I feel expansive. I feel like you want to actually embody these feelings, because it's the feeling that generates the mind that creates the reality that you desire. So the trick right now is not to allow your feelings to get hijacked by the collapse of the things that are not working anymore. Don't do your best not to feel anything about that shit. Just be like, or if you're feeling it, notice how you feel, and maybe you need to do some ritual work. Maybe you need to do some cleansing. Maybe you need to do some healing. Maybe you need to do something to address your own need, but don't adjust your needs because of the external world. Get clear about how you want to feel inside of yourself. So today, Venus is conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So this thing that I'm talking about, feeling, is absolutely about your ability to be compassionate to yourself first. See, the challenge is that we are deeply externally conditioned to think that how we feel and what we want is about others. I'll be happy when somebody else changes. I'll be happy when they aren't doing these things anymore. I'll feel better when their behavior shifts. This is the false illusion Your feelings are based upon your own dominion, your own capacity to have power over yourself, your emotions. And so this is the thing you want to notice. Are you capable of managing your own emotions and feelings, not making them be based upon what's happening around you or externally? This is a high call. This is a high call. Like, I don't know that I'm working on this inside of my own self. For most of us as women, we have been conditioned to be responsive and reactive to the external world, when in truth women have all of the power. We have all the power. So the fact that we are conditioned to respond to the external world and not conditioned to direct the external world from our own sense of self is the challenge. And so you want to learn how to determine how you are going to feel based upon your intimate internal desire and not based upon what others are doing and what others want from you. Can you stand and be true to your own mission and purpose, even if other people need something else from you? Because the something else they need from you is likely going to take you away from your mission and purpose. Do you have the courage? Because Aries is about courage. Do you have the courage to stand for what is true to you? And if you have cultivated your own mission and purpose from deep spiritual practice and healing and devotion, where you understand that you have been given something that is yours to do, that no one else can do, that no one else even sees. I'll never forget when I first got married, my husband's at the time mother. My husband at the time's mother was a minister, and she was a minister, but not a Christian minister. She was like a religious science minister. And she was the closest thing I knew to who I am now. I I have since parted ways, and I'm doing my own thing because I do astrology and all that sort of stuff. But she was a woman who was spiritual, and I wouldn't call her witchy, but in her own way she was. And uh, she had the capacity to have profound conversations around what it means to be a woman and spirituality and all of that. And I just got married to her son, and she decided to leave Los Angeles and go move to Denver to be a minister at this big church. I was heartbroken because I felt like, how does a woman leave her clan? Like, we need her. We need her. We need her direction. We need her wisdom. And she had something else in mind for herself. Maybe she was 50 something, and she left. And I was furious. And her sons, she had more than one, were floundering, like they needed support. Um, and what I discovered later, many years later, was that she was correct in following her own path. She was correct in not sacrificing herself for her children. She was really correct, because they needed to learn how to walk on their own. They needed to learn how to figure it out. They needed to fall on their faces and get up, and they needed to not have somebody be there to rescue them. They needed that. And today I look at that as a great example for myself. Like, do I have the courage to to do the thing that's most valuable to me, even if other people don't value it, even if it means me taking my energy, my power, my attention away from those who think that I am supposed to do what they need. You know what I mean? Do I have that's Aries energy. Can you courageously stand for what it is that you are up to, what your divine codes are? Because if you can, the universe will bless that, because that means that you are trustworthy with the thing that is precious that only you carry. And if you are willing to sacrifice that for other people and what other people think, and if it looks weird, if you're willing to sacrifice, then you can't hold it. You're not responsible for it. The moon today is in Taurus, and this is a nodal class, which means that we're following the moon. But the moon today is in Taurus, and the moon in Taurus is about your own value, your value. Taurus is about the things you possess, and right, and you possess yourself. And do you understand that there are diamonds inside of you? There's gold inside of you. There are riches inside of you that you are responsible for mining out and bringing up so that the world, so that everyone who is in need of what you offer can benefit from it. But they can't benefit from it if you haven't taken the time, the solitude, the whatever you need to do to excavate what is within you. You have to know your value. You have to know your gifts. You have, like, that's why I love astrology, because I look at my natal chart and I'm like, oh, this aspect means I can do this, and I'm like, oh, can I do that? And then I start praying, I'm like, oh, yes, I can do that. I can do that, right? Like, your gifts are coded in your natal chart and in your body, and some of us are using them on default, or half using it. Like, I know for me, I had this experience of myself where if I really had to turn away from the external world, I would experience so much fear. Like, the thought of turning completely to myself terrified me. I would feel like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna lose love, people are not gonna like me anymore, all of that. And so I would short circuit, like, and then I would go back into the experience that I was needing to come out of, because I couldn't hold the energy of my own power. So I would short circuit at the thought of letting go of the external, what I knew. And finally, slowly, gently, I started giving myself permission to hold my own energy, to not turn away. And now I have a true capacity to hold my own frequency. It's stunning. It's something I never even imagined, but now I understand what it actually means. And my 3D reality is beginning to really shift, because I have not been collapsing and going back into it's like you don't drink coffee anymore, but then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go back and have another cup, and then you start drinking coffee again, and then it starts making you sick again, right? So I'm not doing that anymore, and I can actually begin to see the evidence of me holding my own frequency, and it is juicy. That is right, it is juicy. So, with that, everyone, you got to know your value. You have to know your value, your gifts, how you function. And you have to practice it so that it makes sense to you, so that you can know that it actually works. Like, we weren't taught any of this stuff. All of this stuff these are all things that we were conditioned out of. We were conditioned to not even believe in, but it's real. But it's real. So, if you need support, um, if you need support, you can check out my website, healwithmoonmama.com, and I'll be willing to support you. Also, moniqueruffin.com is the same website, but you can find me there. For those of you who are interested in joining Daughters of the 13 Moons, we have our next orientation on April 17th, where we will be sharing the information of how to join the work and what the work is about. We have about 20 women there now, and it's a gentle, slow process right now because we're in the retrogrades, but it's going to quicken. So if you want to get in now while we're moving slow before the rocket takes off. And you can do that in my link tree, and you'll have all the information that you need so that you can be a part of the orientation on the 17th. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. Have a really beautiful day. Bye bye.